Hi, Commanders. Just wanted to give you a cheeky little update on the progress over the last week in the Radicoida time travel mystery situation. So, first things first, thanks so much to all of you that have gone ahead and upvoted the issue. We're now on level 2 of the upvotes. I don't know what that means. I assume it means that people are clicking it. So, thank you so much. At the end of the day, we can all look into it and have our theories, but the only way to get the truth is by come in here and upvoting this issue so that then we'll have a time where this title, Time Travelling Happens in HIP 87621, will either say being fixed or by design, and then that will completely close the debate on this. But yeah, I wanted to just give you a quick update because there have been some motion in the last week. So I did return to the Distant Worlds Free Fleet on my main account. I then had a kind of novel idea to start an alt account last Thursday with this whole time thing. So it was a subathon that didn't go as I would quite have hoped, but it was a good laugh nonetheless. And that account, unfortunately, that clone of Makashi was terminated, but that will be coming again soon. So if you are interested in this time travel stuff, do be sure to hit all the follows and subscribe so that you can see that in the future. That will be an alt account that's designed to only exist on stream. The reason it's pertinent to this is I'm currently using that alt account to do some extra research into the time travel stuff. So I want to just have the option to know that I'm not tainted by the state of being an elite pilot. So some things that is allowed us to deduce. Point one, we know the exact time duration. When you time skip at the Radicoidas, you time skip to the 14th of August 2015. We used a system where my colleague Commander Rosen was time skipped. We both jumped to this system. Col 359 sector blah blah blah. Because body 11 has a very long orbital period. And we used the data in the scan event, the mean anomaly value, which you'll see all the way back here, to work out the exact number of degrees that the body had moved through its orbit, and times that by the amount of time that would imply based on the orbital period. And eventually, when we go over, we'll find, sorry, I just wanted it, there you go. You can see that on this one, it goes from 302, from 288 to 302. And then the other one goes from 5 through 360 to 3, or, yeah. We double checked it. You can redo the maths. I could be seeing something incorrect there, but maybe I've copy pasted these into the wrong place. The point stands. It looks like it's pointing at a specific date, which, as you can see on the right, there was a fluff post back on the 14th of August 3301 about Halsey. Now, given that what pushed me to pursue this again, like we discovered this in November last year and I just sat on it because it looked like a bug, but then watching Halsey's speech at the beginning of DW3 in the Distant Worlds Free YouTube channel, well, that's what put me back on this, to then realise that this is pointing to a date that refers to Halsey's, I'm sorry, like, to people that can't see that this is clearly the developers have added in a feature to highlight this stuff to us, I don't know what I can possibly do to help you see this, because what I know is I'm telling you what you need to do to prove me wrong and change my mind, and that is you need to go and try it, and if you can't replicate it, you need to update the issue with that information, and then when the developers see it all, they'll mark it as a bug, and then that will prove me wrong, right? I don't think that you can say the same to me. I think that you have a belief. A lot of people have a belief that this can't be in the game, and you're not actually looking at the data, the actual data and how the game works. It clearly is in the game. And I think at this point, people need to sort of just hold their hands up and say they've been unnecessarily resistive to it, because I don't see how else this happens. I don't see how. Back in the day, I remember when this post came out and we were like, what are they playing at? What are they doing? Like, we didn't know anything about Halsey. We didn't know she was going to be found. We didn't know anything on the 14th of August 3301. We didn't know about the architects of the universe. We didn't know Starship 1 would be found. Like, they're clearly pointing out that what's happening in DW3 is linked to what's happened at the Radicoida, and I think it's fair to say every single thing I've publicly stated on this is proven to be true. So I'm having a proper sip of the old vindication juice here. At the end of the day, nothing's fundamentally changed. You go there, it still time travels you, and now we know the exact date using objective data in the game. So just to be clear, the methodology here is I just went there on a new account. I didn't even jump into HIP 87621, and I jumped to Cole 359, winged with Rosen, who had been time skipped. We dropped the wing. We waited for the leaving team to completely disappear. We positioned ourselves next to each other in Super Cruise so that we could see each other in the instance, but we weren't winged. We then both honked. We then both FSS the system. You can see that the timestamps are all like jumbled up because it was happening simultaneously. And we get different outcomes because the bodies are in different locations for us because we are experiencing different times. The numbers work out. So like if you use body 11 to calculate the drift, and then you can then from like the data of body 10, you can assert what the mean anomaly should be at the future time or at the next scan, and that works. That's why I'm confident to say that this is pointing to a specific date. I need more help with this. I literally just don't know what this means now. Like it's cool. It points to this date. It's something to do with Halsey. We need way more people on this. Like, we need people reproducing it. We need people upvoting it. We need more brains looking at the lore and at the historical Galnets to work out, like, what could this be hinting at? Right now, my strongest belief is that this is a Fargoid super weapon, and that their goal is to essentially grow the Radicoida time bubble to the point where it encapsulates the entire bubble of humanity, at which point we would essentially, like, that remit, that area of space would be trapped in that moment of the 15th of August. And anyone that lives there would be trapped in time there. And that would be a sick weapon that the Fargoids could use. It could also explain why large swathes of the galaxy are off limits to us. If those areas of the galaxy are locked in time, that could be that we're getting to the very core of what's going on in the big picture of the Milky Way. Lastly, this is a tangent from the time travel thing. I am using my new alt account to do an experiment in the permit locked area that you start off with. So we realized that when you start a new account, very interestingly, you start with 3 permits. You start with the Pilots Federation permit, HIP 22460, and HIP 87621. So for a game that notoriously doesn't hold your hand or give you any direction, sure as hell does look to me like at the beginning of the game that gives you some pretty stern direction. So in this account, I've now got like a Mandalay and a Cobra Mark V. I've left the starter bubble. I've visited HIP 22460. I've been to HIP 87621, time traveled, come back to the starter bubble, and my next goal is to achieve elite status, but whilst still having the starter permit. I want to see if that could be, that's separate to the time travel thing. I'm just curious to see if that could be part of the broader mysteries around Raxxla and stuff like that. So there's a lot going on my channel, basically. We've got 2 accounts on the go at the moment. I'm continuing Distant Worlds 3 this week. We'll be going out to Beagle Point Tuesday, tomorrow. And then we'll also be doing some extra research as and when required. So please do reproduce my findings. Go to HIP 87621. When you reproduce it, upvote the issue in the issue tracker. Let's get Frontier in a position where they either have to ignore this, proving that I'm right, or mark it as by design, in which case no one will have a leg to stand on. Let's keep going. The data will speak for itself. That's the bottom line of this whole situation. I don't believe time travel's in the game. I happen to find data that makes it unquestionably the case, and that's the bottom line. 07.